Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. If you guys could subscribe here, that'd be great. If you guys also could subscribe to the Tobin and Leroy show, which you can watch weekdays, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the YouTube channel live. You guys could also watch on-demand clips. And if you guys could, like I said, add that subscription. That'd mean a lot to me. But what means a lot more to me is the Miami Heat getting a win over the Houston Rockets tonight, 119 to 104. A nice taken care of business win for Miami. And, of course, the biggest story out of this game, bar none, easily, was the return of Boy Wonder. Tyler Herro making his return after missing 20 straight games. Finally back in the lineup after dealing with his damn sore foot that was, needed rest and injections. And he was talking about this with Eric and John. That were just, he'd work out, there'd be setbacks. Finally back on the court tonight, and my God, did he look damn good. Tyler Herro tonight, he played 25 minutes, finished with 17 points, a cool 7 of 14 from the floor, had a beautiful transition three, his lone downtown make for Miami. But I think the thing that stood out the most today from Tyler Herro, that dude had the ball pop into his teammates like crazy. He looked definitely like the freshest daisy out of everybody today. A guy, a spring in his step, everybody traveling, second night of a back-to-back on the road. Little bit of a lethargic, start to the game. You have Dylan Brooks nailing a bunch of threes. Jimmy Butler kind of keeping Miami in it. And then, what did you know it? Tyler Herro comes into the game. He ties things up at 25. And Miami really would just kind of grab the reins from there. You had a huge second quarter from Bam Adebayo, but a big part of that was Tyler setting Bam up, teammates, and it was just contagious. Everybody was trying to get involved in the action. People finding cutters. Tyler would find a cutting Caleb Martin. Caleb Martin would then find a cutting Hammy Hawkins Jr., which, by the way, always an interesting. It's going to be an interesting matchup with the Rockets. We just had yesterday Tyrese Maxey, who had his thrilling, killing performance against the Miami Heat, and then you, of course, have to drum up those draft from 2021 where Precious Achiuwa was taking a pick before him. And, it was interesting. We were talking about this today a little bit on the radio show. It had a tie to Tyler Herro, right? Tyrese Maxey has, I would say in the status of the game has probably jumped Tyler a little bit, especially with the year that he's had, Tyler being as banged up as he has. But, Tyler having what he had in the bubble and his rookie season, you wouldn't even thought, oh, we need this. We're going to go and get another high-scoring guard and go in that direction. I'm not saying it wouldn't have worked out or they couldn't have figured it out, but you would understand at the time maybe why they didn't go that direction. They just nailed a home run the year beforehand with Tyler Herro, guard from Kentucky. Either way, this one had its own little twist because you have Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Cam Whitmore, who, of course, sunk like a stone in the draft, but everybody had said it's just the tremendous talent and, been on a nice, has had his nice ups and downs. Jaime, I will say, looks like he is getting back a little bit of something. A little bit of juice is coming back to Jaime Jaquez Jr. And I think it's just a matter of being. He had such a propensity early on in the year, not overthinking about it, just trying to, do him and iso all. It was just forget about that. Be in the right place at the right time. He's tipping loose balls. He's bringing energy to the game. He's getting out on the run. I love what we're seeing from Jaime Jaquez Jr. I thought it was a nice performance from him today. He goes in, he pours you a dozen into this one. He was a plus 14, 5 of 7. He was hit a couple from downtown. Did have one that was in the waning minutes of garbage time, but it was a pretty step back one from Jaime. He added a little flair for the dramatic on that one. So, nice performance there today from him. As far as offensively from your starters, Jimmy Butler today led Miami in scoring, 22 points. And, he had 10 of those in the first quarter to set the tone for Miami. Got to the free throw line today 8 times. Really was not settling. Was trying to impede as well, but also took a good amount of threes tonight. He took 6 from downtown. Got to give a shout out to Eric Reed because Eric Reed, he did what I like to call the old reverse broadcaster jinx. Everybody talks about the broadcaster jinx. The broadcaster jinx that, if you're not familiar, typically if a team is doing something really well, either on a run, this is very common with free throws. Broadcaster jinx says, oh, this guy is 18 for his last 18, John, on his free throws. And then, of course, he goes and he misses the next 2. Well, Eric Reed, the veteran that he is, he goes in there, and in the middle of the broadcast, lets John Crotty know that it was a situation where Miami was 4 for its last 28 3-point attempts, dating back to the game against Philly. So they're like, oh, yeah, you would think that has to balance out. And damn, wouldn't you damn know it? Jimmy Butler right after that, 3-ball. Terry Rozier, 3-ball. And so the Miami Heat got it going. And then after that, at halftime, Duncan Robinson, who, again, has not looked quite himself, he had a third quarter to start of this where, boom, he's getting to the rim. He's being a little bit aggressive. And then, boom, he hits a 3. So shout out Eric Reed, John Crotty had themselves a perfection of the old reverse broadcaster jinx. They did that too. Perfection. Wouldn't you know it? Miami in the second half, 9 of 19 from downtown. So you add those 2 Jimmy Butler ones. I'm making a cool 11 to 21. Let's just make that. Boom. So Eric and John, well done by the boys today. They did great. Bam, dominant second quarter from him. That really, put this game in Miami's grip. Fred VanVleet had a shot at the buzzer. It was still a 5-point game. But, the third quarter was a couple things. One, you had Jimmy Butler kind of putting the hammer down on this one. He got Miami to their largest lead at 13. He had another 3-ball for Miami. Jovic had back-to-back triples in that third quarter as well. And then you had Tyler Herro bringing back the old float mingo, the one-legged runner. And then there was a beautiful Heat steal. Tyler Herro got on the run and zipped it to Haywood Highsmith. So that was just the thing with Tyler tonight, man. That was great. It was not just the scoring. His scoring was great. Played a pretty physical game. He was trying to get to the rim. He didn't, I gave you his line. He did not shoot a ton of threes for his time out there on his 14 shots. Only 4 of them were from downtown. He was trying to make it a method to get downhill, and I thought it was a great job by him. He just looked like he had the biggest pep in his step out of anybody in this game. Both these teams playing on the second night of a back-to-back. And you're just happy for him, man, to go through what he goes through. We know that he takes a lot of flack online. He takes a lot of flack from Heat fans, from pundits, media, whatever. He comes in here today in the Miami Heat in the middle of a playoff race. And there was a great and he, I thought, really infused the difference in today's game. You'll look at other guys and say, well, they had bigger stat lines. I don't know, man. Tyler just, it felt great to have him back out there, and it felt like, for anybody who thought this is going to be, the Tyler Herro show, or he's going to bog anybody down, couldn't be further from the truth. If anything else, he connected everybody more so than anything. Because what did he finish? He finished with 6 assists, and 6 assists. Man, I remember one was to Bam. I think one was to Hawkins. One was to Highsmith. One was to Jimmy. So that's at least 4 different guys that off the top of my head. I don't know if they're all the different guys, but at least 4 different players that you're getting involved there. I feel like it might even been 5. So then that was a sweet ass bounce pass that he had to set up Bam for that dunk. Those guys, to see their chemistry get back to where it was really nice as well. And so Miami's just in this point right now. You get him back. Yeah, look, let's just do a couple of things here. First of all, I've made this point where everybody was not keen on having, you don't need him, who knows what's going on there. Look, I said my only critique of this was, comes out last week and he tweets. I'm like, look, if he tweets, you're going to comment on reports. Yeah, dude, then the fan base is going to expect you back. So good on him that he tweets that, knowing that the comeback was going to come soon, and it was a hell of a re-debut to the season. But this Heat team has stunk at scoring all year. If you're sitting here and you're trying to tell me, hey, they don't need that. They don't need the talents this guy can bring to the table. I don't know what the hell you're thinking. The other thing that was interesting about today's game with him, though, is he was back to what has been the best role of his NBA career, which was off the bench. Will it stay that way? I don't know. It's interesting because whenever this happens around playoff time, this happened with Lowry last year too. Spo always kind of has the ego checkmate card. Like if anybody does have an issue, she's like, we're just looking out for your minutes, baby. You know, like Spo will like to play those mind games. Now, the unfortunate thing for him is Tyler Herro is a black belt in Spoisms. Like he's not gonna fall for those tricks if that's what he's gonna. But I also just think, man, the guy's probably just genuinely happy to be playing basketball, and you know how much it's gonna mean to him to contribute to win. I thought Clay Ferrero had a great tweet from Local 10, and he made a great point about Tyler Herro, where he's like, look, for all the frustration, I'll get the exact tweet, but Clay's point was, for all the frustration there has been this year, you know, how poetic would it be that Tyler Herro coming back would infuse everything for this team? Yeah. Clay tweeted out today, said, Herro coming back to spark a Heat playoff run would be a really cool counter to what happened last year. Would love to see it. Totally agree. This is a Heat team that, look, there's a lot of narratives and people are getting very angry and everything, whatever. You think it doesn't feel like last year because of where last year went. Trust me, I will never forget the feeling of walking into the arena for the second play-in game. It felt like a funeral. And I'm talking about the most loyal Heat lifers that I'm talking to in that building that night saying, like, you know, so much is like, well, let's see what happens. Basically, let's get this over with. Because nobody had faith this team was going to go and win that game after Clint Capella basically, you know, flossed with the Miami Heat on the glass the night beforehand. So I know it feels like it's too late. And I know it feels after a loss like to the Sixers. Trust me when I tell you, I wanted them to win that one too. But I'm not throwing in the towel until it's at all. You're gonna have to have the ref wave in front of Spo, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Bam, Terry Rozier. They're gonna have to wave off the fight because you just can't quite count them out. You can't do it. And I already was like listening to the National Bastards today. The bums, they don't talk about it, but when they can start circling the vultures. Low post, all these people, they want to start making their points. They want to start throwing dirt on the Miami Heat. Well, I got to tell you, dude, you could do that, but all of a sudden Tyler Herro comes out here and he shows you Wicked Bride, and I get you. It's the Rockets. They were a nice little story. They've kind of fallen flat on their face, not acting like the Heat have beaten a true contender here, but I always find this funny with the Heat. In that it's a beautiful thing that Eric Spoelstra has incorporated into everybody. We have enough that the expectation is no matter what the injury situations are, you go about that night like it is your full deck and you try and win that game. But be real about it. This guy was one of your leading scorers. He has one of your biggest salary cap spots. It's expected in the NBA that your big money guys produce the most. And when they're taken away, the Miami Heat have kind of hocus pocused everybody into, it's not going to matter, dude. We'll just find Duncan or Strus or Cole Swider will turn into Tyler Herro. And that's just not the case. And it's not fair to expect that all the time. So they kind of hypnotize you into, as long as Jimmy and Bam are there, you'll figure out the rest. And trust me when I tell you, getting a healthy Tyler Herro back for this team with Terry Rozier, it does add a dangerous dynamic to them. So I'm excited to see how this plays out. Monster game coming up on Sunday. Great performance by Tyler. Big time spark for the Heat. Loved watching tonight's action. I forgot something. Let me look at the standings first real quick. I should do that. After today, Heat are still seventh. The Pacers made easy work of the banged up Oklahoma City Thunder tonight, which is, why the Sixers lost hurts so much. So they right now still a win better than the Miami Heat. They'll show down on Sunday, so big one's going to be there for sure. But did you guys see this Knicks Bulls? By the way, the Bulls beat the Knicks today, so the Knicks they fall back, so the Heat can still try and nip at their heels and catch up on them. Did the Bucks lose today? Man, the Bucks lost today too, dude. Bucks lost to the Raptors 117-111. This Eastern Conference is a hodgepodge, man. Sheesh. The Magic lost today too. Holy shit. Anyway, so basically everything but the Pacers today didn't go for the Heat or went for the Heat. But in this Knicks game, I just want to make one more point. You see Josh Hart kick that dude upside the head? Like, this Knicks fan base that tries to make it out like Bam Adebayo is a dirty player, knowing what he did to Jimmy Butler's ankle last year, and now this dude's like Leon Edwards out there kicking Kamaru Usman for the welterweight championship. He's just kicking his opponents upside the head. What the hell is that? That's it. That's it. I'll see you guys later.